Welcome back. Please disregard my dog acting crazy. You're acting crazy. Can you see her? If you hear that, that's exactly what's going on, but it is officially springtime here. It's nice and warm, the sun is shining, so I figured we'd pop outside, have a little chat, check in to see how you're doing, and let you know that we're back for another week of baking. We're gonna be doing some more discard recipes, as I still have 2.5, maybe 3, I think, jars full of discard, so we need to get going on that and make some space in the fridge as we are leaving this week. So that is what we are going to be doing, and I'm so excited to bring you along with me. Okay, so looking at the 3 recipes, because I just now realized I don't have one of the ingredients, so I'll just head to the supermarket tonight and then bake the other part tomorrow. But looking at the 3 recipes, one of them says it's gonna take 20 minutes prep time, 20 minutes cook time, which sounds great, but then it needs 13 hours to rest. So we're gonna do that one last, which was the breadsticks. The graham crackers are gonna take a total of an hour, so we can start with that one, and then the Italian cookie is gonna take an hour and a half total. So prioritizing, we're gonna start on the graham crackers because I'm very excited about those, and then probably try to intermingle biscotti in and then finish with the breadsticks. He's not gonna get them tonight, unfortunately, but I don't think we're having Italian for dinner anyway. I think we are doing tacos, so that works out well. We can have those for dinner tomorrow, and then I'll finish the dog treat recipe tomorrow as well. So both of my people in my life get 2 treats tomorrow. So let's get started on that. Okay, swapping to a different angle so you can see me a little bit better. We need, for this recipe, unsalted butter. So we're gonna grab some butter. Need brown sugar, which I just bought, honey, sourdough discard, obviously, all-purpose flour, whole wheat flour, baking soda, salt, and ground cinnamon. We are set. Okay, so grabbing all the dry ingredients here. Okay, so we're looking for whole wheat flour, which we have from our soda bread video. If you haven't seen that, highly recommend, because it turned out really, really good. All-purpose. Here's our brown sugar. When I was feeling inspired, I labeled everything. Honey, baking soda, salt, ground cinnamon, and then we just need discard. Discard. And I don't know how much we'll need, but butter. Okay, so the first instruction says we're gonna cream the butter with the brown sugar, but I just pulled this out so it's still a little bit cold, so we're actually gonna skip that step for now. We'll circle back. I'm gonna grab another bowl, and then I'm gonna mix the dry ingredients. So it's calling for 1 cup of whole wheat flour. I'm really gonna need all these, so I might as well. Okay, so 1 cup. I measure. I don't really know another way, if I'm honest. This is how I've always measured. I just literally scoop it in and then shake it to where it's flat. If you have a better way that you've always done it, let me know. I'd be interested to see. Maybe we all do it that way and I'm just gaslighting myself into believing I'm the only one. I don't know. But we have 1 cup whole wheat flour, and we also have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. About this style already of baking makes me feel like I'm on a TV show in a little bit of a ways. Our baking soda, wow, I've lived in a cell for too long. Baking soda, we need 1/2 teaspoon of this bad boy. I love watching it just feather in. So one thing I will say about, while I'm opening this, one thing I will say about previous bakes is sometimes my bakes are a little sour. Like, maybe bitter is a better word. Like, it will literally, it feels like someone's like pulling on your teeth. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. It's not like sour in any way. It feels like bitter. And I've come to realize it's either due to the fact that I have only been using coarse salt for all of my bakes, or that my baking powder or baking soda is bad. So I went to the store and grabbed a different kind of salt today, or the other day, and we're gonna see if that makes a difference or no difference at all. And then I can move on to the baking soda and replacing that and seeing if that makes a difference. But half a teaspoon of some salt. It's just so big. I think that's probably what it is. It's not mixing well. Not sure, but now we're gonna whisk. So this is our dry ingredient as it stands at the moment. Now we're gonna move back to our wet ingredient. Okay, so it's asking for a spatula. If you can imagine it, I only have one spatula and it's dirty. So we are just gonna move right along with this spoon. So we need 8 tablespoons, which is a whole stick. Perfect. Plop that in here. Yeah, it's definitely warmer. 1/3 of a cup in your pot. And then we're gonna squish it all together. Now we're on to honey. So we're gonna add 1/3 of a cup of honey into here. And then also this is what I was looking like. I think it's creamed out. It said cream the butter and then add in the brown sugar until it's creamy. So there's a lot of the word creamy being used. And I feel like we've accomplished that. So I'm just, okay, now we're adding half a cup. I didn't say it. That was 1/3 of a cup of honey. Now we're adding half a cup of sourdough discard here. This should be a fun angle to watch. Oh, a little bit of water there, that's all right. Okay, gonna stir this together and then move it a little bit closer so you can see the consistency, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, before we stir, this is what it's looking like. Now we're gonna blend until smooth is what it said. Okay, I think smooth is a relative term at this point because I have been at it for at least a minute now, but smooth-ish. We're working with a little bit of smoothish, a little bit of lumpage, but I think for the most part, we should be right as rain. So now I'm gonna combine the two. That's what it says. It says add the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients, and it's becoming my favorite part because it says you can mix with your hands, and I feel like all food should be able to be played with. I don't feel like there should be any food in the entire world that you can't play with it. And that is what I love most about baking. I get to get my hands dirty and play with some food. Okay, this is my favorite part. I've removed the rings. Hopefully Brian doesn't get upset about that, but I don't want this caked in my ring. So I'm gonna combine all this together. I can smell the honey. The honey is really, really strong in this. I'm trying to incorporate it as best as I can. The recipe said, whatever you do, don't add any liquid. So I'm just gonna try to incorporate this as much as I can. I put the leftover dough that was on my fingers on this dough on top so it doesn't look like it's smooth, but it's completely smooth. So now I'm gonna cover it. It doesn't say with what. I'm just gonna use my trusty tea towel because it's never failed me yet. And then put this in the fridge for an hour and we'll pop over to the next recipe. All right, step number 1 is preheat the oven to 325. Oh, that's the last of the bag. Look at that. Perfect. Love when that happens. And then I'm just gonna put these in the oven once the oven heats up to the desired temperature for 8 to 12 minutes. Okay, while that is heating up, I'm gonna grab my stand mixer with my paddle attachment. Oh gosh, it never gets lighter. We're gonna add a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Okay. Add 1 1/3 cup of brown sugar now. I love that noise. And then here's the 1/3. That's it. We need some eggs, so I'm gonna grab, ooh, the last two here. Lay them out while I'm mixing, so they'll be room temperature by the time I need to actually add them to the mixture. This is always a test on if today's gonna be a good baking day or not. Can I get this on the first try? This is the test. Okay, we start here. Ooh, good baking day, perfect. And then we're just gonna mix on low, I think. That feels right. So we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 3 teaspoons to make a tablespoon of almond extract. That's interesting. All right, 1, 2, ooh. That smells like a chantilly cake. I love that. Okay, half a cup. There's nothing more satisfying than a good discard pour. Mix again. Okay, now we got 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. Adding 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt as well. We're gonna call that 3/4. Okay. Now adding the other cup. And another cup. Now mixing. So let's mix until combined. A little more than a minute on our roasted almond. You can see them chilling down there. And we'll pull them out and chop them next. Pulling out the almonds. Ooh, this smells so good. Comment down below if you know what I'm talking about when I say movie theater almonds. I found a lot of theaters don't sell them, and I'm very surprised for that because I used to have them every single time I went to the movies. That and a slushie that my mom would hide in her purse. So, but now I just want them and I can't find them anywhere. But I'm gonna let those cool and then chop them. Okay, I'm impatient and I don't want to wait for them to fully cool. They're cool enough to the touch. Also, not claiming to be a professional chopper in the slightest. We're just gonna go with what we know, which is to cut them into as tiny little scrapes as possible because we're gonna be eating these within the cookie and I want to make sure I don't choke. Okay, did anyone watch Love is Blind this season? My husband and I only exclusively watch reality love television shows. We actually started Love Island UK back in 2020, I think. So not to say we were ahead of the curve, but we were ahead of the curve. No, I'm kidding. But so every time there's a new love show, we love to watch it. And this season, that just reminded me, this season when, I think her name's Jess goes, "You're gonna choke." That, I still think about that daily. That is my actual Roman Empire, is Jess going, "You're gonna choke when you see what you missed out on." And then she's like, what did she say? She was like, you better have your EpiPen ready because your windpipe is gonna close. Like, pop off. I can't believe she said that. That's so funny. Anyway, still chopping. Gonna make this a little bit faster so you don't have to sit here and watch me struggle. Adding these in. Voila, perfect. Only a few stragglers. Oh, it smells so good. I wish you could smell that. Okay, I'm supposed to put these into logs. I think it might just be a little too sticky. So I'm gonna pop this in the fridge and let it harden up a little bit before I add it while I'm letting my oven preheat to 350. So I have Italian cookies baking for 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna swap or like turn it and then bake it for another 15 minutes. And then there's a few other steps I have to do between that. But I'm gonna pop back to the graham crackers because this is fully cooled for an hour now. And then just get started on the breadsticks. It wants me to take the dough, split it in half, which we can do. And roll this out to 1/8 of an inch thickness. While the Italian cookie is cooking and the graham crackers are cooling in the fridge, I'm gonna move on to my breadsticks. So I'm adding every single ingredient into this mixer, and then I think I'm just gonna mix it. I haven't read further than the first thing, so I'm just gonna add 1 cup of water with the dough hook attachment, 2 tablespoons of sugar. We can do that. Here we go. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. All right, pulling out the cookies now. It's definitely something, for sure. I'll give you a close-up. Yummy, they look so bad. I added all the ingredients for the breadsticks into the bowl. I'm gonna let this knead on medium and then move on to the next step. This is what the graham crackers are looking like before they go in the oven. I'm gonna put this terrible plastic wrap we bought a long time ago that I just need to use up, then cover it with my Benetton basket, and then I'm going to put it in the microwave for the next 12 hours. And that's the breadsticks done. Now I have the graham crackers in the oven. They have 7 more minutes left on them. I'm gonna let the Italian cookies sit for another 5 minutes because they're still not super cool yet to where I can cut into them and then do the second bake. And then we're done for the day. It's been fun. Thanks for spending time with me. Okay, it's time to cut these bad boys. If I just cooled it just a little bit longer, I don't think it would be so terrible. But it is, and that's okay. Okay. Here they are all arranged before they go in the oven. I'm about to do a swap because my graham crackers are done. So I'm just gonna swap them in. They bake at the same temperature at 350. Hey, those look good. Probably because these are so bad that I'm just like surprised anything would go good. Here we go. Okay, this is what they're looking like. They don't not look like them, if I'm honest. I mean, this part definitely not. But you know, these up here, these look pretty decent actually, to try them. Okay, so as you can tell, we're on day 2. I just pulled my dough out of the microwave. It has doubled, maybe tripled, since I put it in yesterday. But we are on to the next steps. So, looking at the instructions, we are going to pour the bread dough onto a clean and lightly floured work surface and then divide them all into 12 even balls and then roll them out like a log. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm gonna roll these into logs. I wanna combine them first in my hand before. Right. just gonna put these on there and then let them rest. Here are our ingredients for this recipe. Okay, so for this recipe, we need 2/3 of a cup of sourdough discard. I'm very excited about that. That should nearly wipe us clean of our remaining discard. We need pumpkin or sweet potato puree. I have right here, went to the store. Hopefully she likes pumpkin, I didn't ask her. Peanut butter. I only ever have powdered peanut butter, so it works out well because it says preferably unsalted or unsweetened, so that's good. Oats, which I don't ever eat because they're not gluten-free, but we have that, and then we're gonna add some whole wheat flour. So glad I can finally make some use of this again. And then that's the whole recipe. So let's get started. While I get everything in the bowl, I'm gonna preheat my oven. Pull my stand mixer out because you didn't need to see me struggle with that again. But I'm grabbing a clean bowl that I just washed with my paddle attachment. Okay, so it says mix together the eggs. So we got 2 eggs. Because I don't want to mess up my husband's measuring cup, I'm gonna measure out 1/3 of a cup twice. And then place that in here, 1/3 going in. Here's 1/3. Here comes 2/3. That looks, ooh, it's a heaping 2/3. Now I'm just gonna open the pumpkin puree and add that. Okay, this requires another 2/3. The same thing. I just washed this so it doesn't have any residue. Puree, I really thought it was gonna taste like a pumpkin pie. Oh, that couldn't have been any better. It's pretty good. Okay. And then 1/4 of a cup natural creamy peanut butter. So what I'm gonna do is take my powdered peanut butter, measure out 1/4 of a cup, add some water to make it peanut butter. Adding the peanut butter in. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna mix it on low. Okay, now I'm gonna add 1 full cup of oats. Mix that again. Okay, everything's been incorporated. This is what we're looking like currently. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. I'm gonna add 1 cup of whole wheat, and then I'm gonna add half. So we have 1.5 total in there right now, and then mix that together, see where we end up. Flour my surface, and then it says to knead it together so it fully comes together. And then I'm going to divide the dough in half after that. And then it says to roll out the dough to a 1/4 inch thick sheet. Cut the treats into your desired shape. Okay, this is where we're gonna get creative. I'm gonna roll the dough out. Since I just started baking this year, the only cookie cutters I have are Christmas cookie cutters. It said you could do squares, but I think that's boring, so we're gonna get adventurous here. Gonna make little circles instead, and then literally just go around doing that. Once they're all said and done, this is what they're gonna look like. They look like little chicken nuggets. Here they are out of the oven. Sit. Okay, so the lighting has changed significantly because it started downpouring, but I packaged up the dog treats. Doesn't it look adorable? Like, how cute are these? I'm gonna give these to my childhood dog when we go visit. That dough makes so much. Like, this is 1/2. So imagine together. I mean, your dog would be set for a very long time. I have the breadsticks in the oven at the moment. There's 3 minutes left. I think at the 1 minute mark, I'm gonna heat up the butter. You need 3 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then you're gonna put rosemary, Italian, or parsley herbs on top, sprinkled on top once it's wet with the butter. And then we're done. Okay, I'm adding 1/4 teaspoon salt, garlic powder, look at my little buns. They're supposed to be breadsticks, but they're little buns. Okay, I'm spoon that butter over it now. Final product. I don't typically do this. I haven't done this in any of my videos because I think eating food could trigger people just with the noise and things because it triggers me. But I will say I've already eaten or taken a bite into this. This is so good. It's not the most eye-catching thing because it looks like little rolls versus breadsticks, but I'm telling you, like, if you get anything from this video, try this recipe. It is so good. And you can see the layers in it. You can see the pockets, and it's just so doughy. So good. So good.